with a look at how fintech brands are teaming up with Formula One to drive visibility, trust, and global reach. These are not just flashy sponsorship, they are smart, strategic partnership with speed, innovation, and brand storytelling. So buckle up, everyone. This is gonna move fast. Please join me in welcoming our moderator, Arnab Shome, editor of Finance Magnates at Ultimate Group, to kick things off.
Hello, everyone. I'm Arnab Shome, an editor at Finance Magnates, and I'll moderate this panel from pit stops to platforms, what fintech can learn from F1 partnerships. And I have with me is Marios Chailis. He is the Chief Marketing Officer at the LIBERTEX Group. So, hello, Marios. I'd like to ask Marios to give a little bit more context about himself and his company. So,
Sure. Hi. Thank you for having me. LIBERTEX is a broker that's been established for a long time, going on to 28 years now. We operate 3 different brands. We have LBX, we have Forex Club that's active in China and the region, and we have LIBERTEX that's mainly focused in Europe. Like I said, very diverse organization, presence in many different jurisdictions, and yeah, we have a Formula One sponsorship that we're here to talk about.
it's a big sponsorship, right? You are sponsoring Kick Schober, the F1 team, for how many years now?
Actually, our deal is with Audi. Audi bought Sauber
Yes.
last year, and from 2026 onwards, they're going to be racing as Audi as a factory team. So this was the last year of Sauber, finishing now in December, and from next season, it's going to be Audi F1, which is what we're really excited about. It's only the 3rd factory team that's going to be racing after Ferrari and Mercedes, so there's going to be a lot of attention. And we felt that's quite a strategic placement and partnership that we should explore.
Okay. So I have a few pointers here. The first CFD's broker to ink a sports sponsorship deal with Formula One team was about more or less 15 years ago. Now, fast forward to 2020, 2021, when the market was very volatile, brokers earned a lot. There were only 2 companies, CFD's brokers, with sports deals, F1 deals. Now today, at 2025, there are 7. 7 brokers, CFD's brokers, sponsoring F1 teams, or 1 or 2 also sponsoring drivers. So what has changed over all those years? What drove this interest within Formula One among CFD's brokers?
Look, first of all, viewership for Formula One has increased significantly. After Netflix premiered their own series about F1, audiences grew by hundreds of millions globally. At the same time, it is a global sport, and we have experience with sponsorships in football and other venues, but you can't really activate football in the same way you activate a Formula One sponsorship. F1 is a road show. They have events in all continents, in many different cities, in many different countries. It's if you want to reach your audience and your clients globally, F1 is a much better vehicle. And as the industry matures, I think more and more companies realize that, and they moved on from maybe other kinds of sponsorships to F1, just because it's a bigger platform, a lot more opportunities, and there's a lot more synergies, I think, with trading. The speed, precision, technology, all those things are synergies that we can draw from in our branding and our marketing activities.
It's better messaging. Yeah. So, but you cannot ignore football, right? Football has a very wide mass appeal. Let's say it's a club playing in England. It has a very hardcore fan base, let's say in countries like Vietnam. And I know this because I'm part of one of those clubs.
Yeah, of course. No, I totally agree. And up until last year, we were also really into football. We had partnerships with, I think, some of the biggest football clubs in the world. Most recently was FC Bayern Munich, which I think undoubtedly is one of the most recognized and award-winning teams, championship-winning teams in Europe. Having said that, a football club in most cases is very regional. Even the Premier League that you mentioned, and we did sponsor a Premier League team in the past, you see that the audience engagement drops the further away you go from the country in which they play. So in the example, we had Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. It was quite popular in the UK, popular enough in Europe, but then the further you got out, not so much. And we have a lot of activities in Asia, we have a lot of activities in Latin America. We couldn't get the same level of excitement and engagement with our customers as with an F1 sponsorship. So this is sort of why we decided to move on into F1. It's a bigger platform. For example, now in Latin America, last night was the Grand Prix in Mexico. That was, a big deal for our customers in the region. Next one is Brazil. There's a lot of activations locally, a lot of, TV audiences, a lot of people attending the races, a lot of activations with the drivers and the cars. So it's a lot more visibility that we can build on, along with our own activations in the region.
So when I watch a race days and also the qualifiers, you don't see brands like LIBERTEX Group or that much. It's like the title sponsors and brands like crypto.com, those are very visible. But when I open your website, it's like I can see how you are marketing it, your website, your social media. So
Yeah.
can you give me the anatomy of how do you structure this branding opportunity with your broker?
Look, a sponsorship on an F1 car is not about the logo on the car, which we do. I mean, we have a very nice logo on the rear wing. It's very visible, but you can't expect to see it during a race. I mean, sometimes you get a glimpse at it, but it's so fast. That's not what it's about. Sponsoring the team gets you access to IP, to images of the car that you can use in your own marketing activities. You get access to the drivers. You can record your own ads, your own videos. And that's what you build on. You need to get the material, create content that's engaging, relate your brand to the team so that you increase the visibility, and you use that for your brand awareness campaigns and to get more people looking at your brand. And then you use that for engaging with existing customers or existing leads. At the same time, you can't expect to sponsor a team, any kind of sponsorship. It doesn't matter if it's football or F1, and then customers will automatically come to you. Whatever money you're spending on a sponsorship, you need to spend much more than that in activating the sponsorship. So your own acquisition efforts need to match the branding of the sponsorship, and you need to follow through. Otherwise, it's really not going to pay dividends, and you end up losing money, which, it happens. I've heard a lot of stories. Companies are spending money, they scrape enough to buy a sponsorship, but then they don't have enough funds or they don't allocate enough funds to activate it, and it's a missed opportunity.
So my next question is exactly on that topic. So see, neither the brokers nor the F1 teams usually reveal the figures about the sponsorship deals. But according to estimates, many experts say that it can go easily over $1 million, maybe a couple of millions, or maybe more. So how do you calculate the ROI on these investments? I mean, it's a huge money, right? And all the money in one campaign. So how do you calculate the ROI?
What did you say your estimate was in terms of the cost?
Easily 1 million and maybe more.
1 million won't even get you through the door. No team is going to speak to you for $1 million. Okay. The entry level, it's, I don't know, for most teams starts at around 5 million. And if you want to be on the car, if you want to have engagement, it's tens of millions of dollars or euro, whatever. If you want to have a name sponsorship, so for example, Ferrari right now, it's HP Ferrari. That's hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's not, Revolut are joining us with Audi next year. They spend hundreds of millions to get the naming rights. So, a couple of million won't get you anywhere. You need to invest the money in the sponsorship. But like I said, you also need to spend a lot more money activating the sponsorship. You need to do local events. You need to generate content, engagement. What we've done in the past is we have a flagship event that we do each year in Monaco. And last year we had the F1 team on board. We brought the drivers. We had a party. We had a supercar that we parked on a super yacht in Monaco. That went viral. And the combination of the F1 team and the attention, that generated a lot of advertising for us. A lot of it was a viral content, but every TV channel, everybody covering F1 was there. Traditional publications, print, everything. So there are ways to calculate how much that would cost you if you wanted to go out and buy that exposure. So you can put a figure on the publicity that you get. At the same time, is what you do with that content afterwards, because just getting the attention is one thing, then you need to monetize it. So we ran ads using content that was generated at these events, and then we can clearly measure online how many people interact with it, how many people click through, how many people sign up, how many leads we generated, and therefore how many customers we get at the end of the line. So it's two different things. It's engagement, it's brand awareness, and then it's the more measurable customer acquisition efforts.
So do you also do meetups of your VIP clients with the drivers?
That's a bit more tricky because we're a regulated company. We're not technically allowed to introduce any kind of incentives to customers, at least in Europe. Having said that, in other places like Latin America, we operate under different regulation, not European regulation, where that is allowed. So we do arrange events where we have customers or partners that attend Grand Prix or special events, private events that we held, and they can meet with drivers, they can meet with team principals, or in some cases visit the factory. I mean, there's all kinds of things we can do.
So the least amount you can spend for an F1 sponsorship is 5 million, just like you said. So how do you pitch this marketing campaign to your CEO? I mean, what's the trick?
Well, as a CMO, I have quite a wide range of authority in terms of sponsorships. At least in my case, I'm quite lucky. Our CEO and I are very aligned. So it wasn't really a tough discussion. Usually what happens is we'll come up with an idea with my department. I'll pitch it to the management board of the company, which is my colleagues in different positions, head of sales, head of IT, all the senior people. We'll have an open discussion about it. But at the end of the day, it's my decision, and I allocate the funds from my budget, and there we go.
Okay. So Formula One is very, it's global, but it's very centered towards like some cities, right? They have races in certain cities, but not in countries like Vietnam or some other Southeast Asian countries, which are considered as revenue drivers. So do you see any fan following of F1 in those countries as well?
I know that there is a big interest from a number of countries to host F1 events in the future. I know Thailand recently applied to the FIA to get a track approved. I know there's interest from many others. And at the same time, I know that fans of the sport in those countries do engage and watch on TV. The ones who can afford it actually travel to neighboring countries to attend the Grand Prix. But like I said, it's we can't expect everybody to just show up at a track. That's why we also do activations locally. So we use the branding. We use, we have access to an F1 car that we can put on a road show. So when we do have events, we can take that on location, try to engage with the audience there. It's not the same as going to an F1 race, but we do the best we can.
Your booth is, by the way, very nice with the F1 team over there.
Well, yes, thank you. I invite everybody to visit our booth. It's right there.
So, audience, do you have any questions for Marios on F1 sponsorships? Anyone? Okay, so...
I guess they know everything.
Yeah, yes, of course. So, would you like to add anything else?
No, I think we're good. Like I said, it's a very interesting type of sponsorship.
Yes.
It pays dividends. You just need to commit to it. You need to spend the money. It's not a cheap kind of sponsorship. And once you follow through, over time, because you need to build the awareness, you need to build the association of your brand with the F1 team. The recognition is there, and the benefits will follow.
Okay, so that's it, I guess. So thank you, Marios.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming here.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.